And Kyle, it is Tuesday. I know it feels like a Monday. I know it does. But it is a Tuesday at 7:41, and we welcome, as always, Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto from Cinema Vet on Cinema Drive right here in town. How are you, and how was your 4th?
Good morning. My 4th was great, thanks.
How did you do with the dogs?
Everybody seemed to be okay, which is great. And hopefully I'll hear from my clients that everybody at home did okay and got their, anti-anxiety meds on time, and hopefully everything went well.
Hopefully, it's such a scary time. My dog she wouldn't go outside. And so to get her to go to the bathroom was just, it couldn't be done. And,
yeah.
And I would fear that she would get, some kind of infection or, because she would be holding it too long. And in the last couple of years, she lost her hearing. And on July 4th, my heart doesn't ache as much having to watch because she is oblivious to what is going on.
The only good thing about being deaf. Yeah.
But, your heart just hurts when you watch them, and there's just, it's so hard to comfort them. They're just so scared. So I hope all the dogs in the neighborhood did well, like you said.
Me too.
Me too. So summer's here. So much we need to be aware of. Last time I think we talked about the heat and walking your dog. When it gets to be into those triple-digit numbers, it really gets dangerous to walk the dog on pavement and the concrete because they can burn their little paws very, very quickly. But you were also telling me, we were talking the last time about, dogs in cars and dogs even on the pavement. Even on a relatively hot day, I mean, we don't even have to go into triple digits. That pavement heats up rather quickly, so you have to be careful. And did you tell me that you should put your hand facing backwards on the concrete, and that should give you an indication of what their paws might feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I think, either really backwards or forwards, I mean, either way, you're gonna feel pretty quickly how hot that pavement is. Mm-hmm. And if it's too hot for your hand, leave it in place for a good 5 to 10 seconds. And if it feels burning on your hand, if it's too hot for you, it's definitely too hot for your dog to walk on.
And the cars heat up faster than you think. So
absolutely,
I know a lot of people like to go around town and bring their dogs, and which is lovely. But when the weather gets hotter, we have to be super careful and definitely not leave the dog in the car. If you go to do an errand, the windows, it might not be enough to crack the windows in triple-digit heat. I think the car heats up.
It's not enough.
It's not
even.
Yeah, okay.
Even in 80-degree heat, cracking windows is not enough.
Oh.
And, I know some people out there say, well, it's just a quick errand, I'm going to pop in and out. But, even with a quick errand, things can happen. You get sidetracked. You start talking to somebody. It becomes not just a couple minutes. And even after 5 minutes being in a car, the temperature rises dramatically. So it's just anything in this heat is a dangerous situation. It's just best to leave them at home.
Well, again, test it on yourself. Would you like to sit in in the car without the air conditioning on for 5 to 10 minutes? How are you going to like that?
Exactly.
How are you going to like that? And dogs are super sensitive. We have to take care of our pets. I read somewhere recently, and I didn't know this. You might have told me over the years, but honestly, I forgot about this. There was a dog. I read this on Nextdoor, if you're familiar with the Nextdoor app. And there was a story that she was trying to, get us all kind of up to speed on vaccinations for rattlesnakes, because her dog jumped on a rattlesnake in her backyard trying to get it away from the child. So the dog was a hero, but in the meantime got bitten by the rattlesnake. Got very sick, but the doctor said what saved the dog was the fact that he had gotten this rattlesnake vaccine talk to me about a rattle. Have you ever told me about this? Have we ever talked about this?
About it before.
Okay.
So we do offer the rattlesnake vaccine. It is not in place of veterinary care should the dog get bit, but it definitely buys you time to get there and helps limit the clinical signs so it's easier for the dog to hopefully recover from a bite and not die from it. So we definitely recommend the rattlesnake vaccine for all of our dogs out here because we have rattlesnakes everywhere. You know, like you said, they're in your backyard. They're on the paseos. They're everywhere. So I think the rattlesnake vaccine is very important. Smaller dogs, less than 25 pounds, get a total of 3 boosters their first round, and then it's boosted yearly. Or dogs over 100 pounds, also the same thing, get 3, whereas every other dog between those ranges just need 2. And the manufacturer of the vaccine says it's because of how those size dogs sort of metabolize the vaccine that they need what extra booster for them. And then it's really important to vaccinate every year on time. The company just recently told us that there is no grace period for this vaccine, like some other vaccines. Let's say, you know, for your distemper parvo vaccine, if you're late by a few months, we just give you a booster and that's it. They're saying for their vaccine, there is no grace period like that. So if you're late at all, they recommend doing a second booster again, sort of like starting it over to make sure that the dog is fully protected.
Well, it worked in this particular case. The story went well. The dog did get sick, but did not die because of exactly what you're saying. So, so you may want to, especially if you have rattlers near you or around you, or you're near, you know, some area that kind of is, dense with rattlers, or even if you go on walks. I know a lot of people take their dogs on trails. And
absolutely,
they're everywhere. I can hear them. I hear them in my sleep, Dr. Jaimie, you know that. So, here we are, we're in July, and we just got finished with the fireworks. Hopefully there are no rogue fireworks in the next couple of days, although there usually are. But hopefully that has died down. What else do we have to worry about, or not necessarily worry about, but be concerned in the summer for our pets? Is there anything we can do or be proactive about when it comes to summertime and pets? Is there anything that we need to be careful around the pool? Or, can dogs go in a pool? Is it safe for them to jump in?
Yeah, dogs can definitely go in the pool. Make sure they know how to swim, which sounds funny. You'd think that all dogs know how to swim, but they really don't.
Oh, because of the doggy paddle?
Well, they all do a doggy paddle, but there's an appropriate way to swim versus the more panicky doggy paddle type of swim.
Yes.
So make sure that they're comfortable in the water. They do make doggy life vests that I think are a good idea for those dogs that aren't necessarily super comfortable in the water. And you want to sort of dog-proof your pool just like you would child-proof your pool. Sort of all the same safety measures should be in place. But for any dogs that do enjoy the pool and like going in it, I do recommend rinsing them off at the end of the day so that any chemicals from the pool don't just stay on their skin and cause some irritation or dry them out. So just hosing them down once they're done, cleaning their ears out once they're done so we don't get ear infections from all the pool water. Those are the main things. But yeah, the pool can be a great way of exercise for them. It's, just, again, the same principles that apply to us. It's good for older pets that maybe have a harder time, hiking or walking, but they still need the exercise. So swimming around can be great for them.
Is there such a thing as Doggy Sunscreen?
There is. It, I think, is a good product if you can find it. I don't know how easy it is to find, but I do know that it exists.
Okay.
And I definitely do recommend sunscreen for pets that are going to be outside a lot with the family, especially dogs that have very fair skin, like white dogs or light-coated breeds. or short hairs that have more skin exposed. Getting that sunscreen on their noses and their ears is really important to help prevent them from getting burned.
So we need to go online to kind of find this. I didn't even know it existed, quite honestly. I was just throwing it out there because I know I have to lather up. I have to lather up when I'm outside. So anything else we can think of for coming, in the next couple of months, summer's here, that we need to be aware of?
I think we covered the big things. The only other thing that I would say that we see a lot of in this time of year would be foxtails getting into fur and puncturing skin. Dogs and cats, but mostly dogs, because they'll get in there between their feet and sometimes in their ears and things like that. So just being really careful where you walk them. Don't let them kind of go off leash into the bushes, because all of that dry brush now has lots of burrs and foxtails, and that can be dangerous and cause infections if they get stuck.
Wise words from Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto. If you are in need of one of the best vets around, guess who we go to? Dr. Jaimie over on Cinema Drive, Cinema Vet. What's the best number to reach you, Dr. Jaimie?
Yeah, we're at 661-253-9300.
Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks. You too.